Well, I'm just gonna say it. Stop buying your soil at these stores. Not only is it cheaper to do it yourself, but you can fine tune it. It's like a third cheaper. There's a lot of stuff I use. A lot of this is interchangeable. Actually, let's look at an old video that I have. And this is some citrus potting soil that I got from like Home Depot or something. Like, look at this. How is this well draining? It is murky, and a lot of stuff will be fine at first, and then 2 3 years later it's going bad. And even some of the videos I've watched in the beginning of how to make soil, this one's doing good, and this is what I potted in some stuff that I made myself. All right, so this is what I'm gonna use on this. So peat moss wicks to the side, water hits it, it kind of goes left to right. Use that or core. And then for the grain, I want to use decomposed granite or sand. This adds mineral. I kind of like decomposed granite better because it retains water a little bit better. Perlite is another way. It adds drainage as well. Pumice or perlite are kind of interchangeable. I like to use a little bit of both. In fact, I like to use a little bit of all of this stuff, technically. And then I use chicken manure, or you can use the steer manure you saw earlier, but worm gold also. These are two things that go on the top. So these on the left are for our inside, the ones on the right are for the top dressing. And your soil is or whatnot. I want to be able to water as much as I can without it decaying. If you ever had issues with root rot, this is perfect to fix that. You will not have any root rot issues when you follow this sort of method. Alright, like I said, this is gold. Based on the needs, sometimes I'll add this into the soil, like with bananas, for instance, but generally I put it on top. And then I like to get a little bit of bone meal in there as well. If your plants call for something organic in the soil, then this is what I would use. Something worm castings or something like this. It's not going to suffocate your roots like wood bark and things will once those break down. So, like bananas, for instance, I mix this in that sort of soil. Um, Otherwise, it's going on top with the compost. This works really well for pots and for raised beds because it doesn't break down when there's no organic matter, no bark. And this is the perlite and the pumice are the gray ones. This is what's going to add. Actually, everything kind of adds to the drainage. This is the decomposed granite. You can use sand as well. Decomposed granite holds on to water a little bit better though for the desert. You can equal that off with peat moss or core. Core holds on to water a little bit better, and this stuff's a little bit more acidic. And then I want to add some charcoal. Like this is just lump charcoal that I got. I use a small bits for my barbecuing, and it's really airy. It's light. It's not so heavy. Sand and decomposed granite are kind of heavy. You can adjust that, but I swear this stuff drains in like when you're watering at the top like 30 seconds or so. And then these are the clay pebbles. I'm going to add a handful of these in this bucket or and it doesn't break down like I said. So think about like the avocado seeds that grows in water. Why can't we do that with the rest of the plant? Lava rock, and also these little grow pebbles that I have left over. I put about a handful of these in there as well. Lava rock can hold just a little bit of water as well as some of the beneficial bacteria and whatnot. And this is kind of what it looks like before I get it mixed up. Um, I mean, this is perfect. I grow a lot of avocados and tropical plants as well. They love this stuff. Look, airy. Just goes right through their fingers. If you have any issues with root rot, your plants will love this. All my plants love this. If your plants need something acidic, use peat moss. Otherwise, you use the core. Interchange. See which one works better. Core holds a little bit better water, but this is what it looks like in the end. Look how much my trees are loving this. Like these, Haas lost all of its leaves. Everything's coming back because I changed the soil out. And we're going to talk about how I have it set up. So I use grow bags at the bottom where the roots are. Soil mixtures below this point where the roots generally are. And then pretty much it goes to here or so. And then about here is where I have everything decaying. It feeds down as you water, right? You don't want it underneath, you don't want it in your roots. You want it to feed down. That's how it works in the wild. So compost and worm castings are about at this level, and then the rest is mulch. And these are pots, right? So you can vary based on what you're doing. But again, though, the main thing is your roots should not have anything decaying. So water comes and then it pulls down the nutrients into the soil, and then that's where it lives. You don't want all that decaying to happen and burn your roots. That's what causes root rot mostly. I like these grow bags because it does add that extra airflow, and then I have little saucer at the bottom to catch the water. It'll also, you can water from the bottom, or this also tells me if I'm overwatering when I figured out my drip system. Having a saucer at the bottom will catch water. When you're setting up a drip system, it allows you to see how fast the water comes through and let you figure out how to set up your drip system, as well as creates humidity for my tropical plants. The water evaporates there. And like I said, at first I was getting information online that was saying to put bark as a spacer in between or to allow drainage. Don't do that. A lot of the times what happens is 3 years later, once that bark is disintegrating or breaking down, it's killing your plants. It's burning it. It's suffocating the roots. That's one of the keys to root rot, is the breakdown around your roots. So do it this way if you're worried about that, and I guarantee your plants will love you for it. Let's grow.